Hello and welcome to the Downsized Dish. My name is Lorraine Durham. I'm here with my husband, Christopher Durham. And this is our weekly series where we talk to people about their GLP-1 weight loss journeys. Today we're talking with Shay from Downsizing Diva. But before we get started, let me just welcome you to our channel. I hope that you will like and subscribe. Please remember, we're not doctors. This is just our personal views and opinions.
Hello, Shay.
Hello, hello. It's good to be
Welcome.
here.
Yeah, welcome, Shay, to the Downsized. It's good to have you here. Well, Shay, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Shay, but I'm known as the Downsizing Diva, and I am an educator. I've been an educator for 31 years now. I'm a single mom. My daughter is 7. And so I always tell everybody who meets me, like I'm headed into those golden years of retirement. So I'm excited about that. And I'm
Awesome.
from Ohio, by the way.
Still cold up there, I guess, in
It's
Ohio.
very cold here. Yes.
Well, awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your weight loss journey.
So that's an interesting question. I never really thought much about my weight loss journey until I started making videos here on YouTube. But I've been a chunky child pretty much all my life. So just always going to food for comfort, for entertainment, for friendship, just for everything. I just love food and love to eat it and love
Me
good
too.
food. And my grandmother was always a good cook. She cooked, meals on Sundays, and
Mm,
she cooked for our pastor of our church, his family. They would come over, a lot of people in the church. She was the treasurer of the church at that time, and she would cook these big Sunday dinners that had, fried fish, fried chicken, everything was pretty much fried. She would have some roast, pot roast and things like that. That was not fried, but that was on the menu. Macaroni and cheese,
mm.
greens, and it's the southern way to cook greens and green beans is it kind of melts in your mouth. So you're cooking all the nutrients out pretty
Yep.
much. And so I grew up eating
Oh,
that.
they're
And
in the
another
pot liquor. It's okay.
that and I grew up eating that way, and then my grandmother also she was the very slim lady, like, her nickname was Tiny, so most women in my family are very small. I was one of the few ones that had weight, and she would cook pancakes, I remember, and she would cook pancakes one by one, stand at the stove until you said you were full. So, that is what started the process, I think, of stretching my belly out because I would just eat and eat and eat, and it was just it was like um I wanna say it was kinda like, what do you call that? Encouraged. It was encouraged, right? Eat as much as you can, food was always related to being happy. And so and I don't think I connected food with, like, sadness until I hit middle school age where, you're teased or you have a bad day or this boy didn't like you or this person said that. And then that's when the emotions, probably the negative emotions kicked in with eating. And
Mm.
so fast forward. So I was always chunky, everyone said how cute I was, but always chunky. And then I hit this stride. One day I stepped out. I don't know what happened, how it happened. I don't know if I grew, but I would think I was like 14 or 15. I should have given you this picture. I stepped out of the house and I just was looking slim. I had slim and trim. Like I was no longer chunky. I went from, chunky to just, being a great size. And so, but I always looked older because I was developed. And I always say, now the girls are enhancing themselves where I was enhanced before it became a thing. So it was kind of like my kind of claim to fame, but all that attention, I felt like it was so overwhelming. And then when I got in high school, I got a lot of attention from the boys and the guys, and then which it was great, right? Because you're in high school and you want to date and you think of all these cool things. But I started noticing too that when I would get emotional about something, I would eat. And so those eating patterns, followed me into college. And then in college is where, people say the freshman 15. I want to say I put on the freshman 50.
Oh,
I was just constantly, eating things that I shouldn't have been eating, but eating late, not eating a lot of food. Cause I think this is, something that I've learned over time is I don't eat a lot, but I eat high calories with the few amount that I eat. And so really, even though I may be eating one meal or two meals a day and no snacking or anything, but those two meals are probably like 6 or 7,000 calories. And so
Mm,
a lot of times I think when we hear people say, when they're bigger, I really don't eat a lot. They mean that. And that's probably true. They're not eating a lot as far as bulk, but they're eating a lot in calories. And so that's
mm,
what got me in high school. I mean, in college. And I would stay up late, we would take no dose to stay awake and study. And, I would eat pizza, around the college, there was so much fast food to get to. And then once I got a car at one point in college and, we would just drive to go get whatever we wanted. And, and I wasn't a drinker or anything like that. So the food and just staying up to study, eating late, like that was always been a habit for me. And so yeah, so all those things contributed to my weight, and so college is really where it just kind of escalated, I would say, and then over time, I just kind of maintained that that weight gain, and then fast forward to the motherhood, nothing else had gotten me up to over the 300-pound mark until I think the death of my parents. My dad
mm.
passed first, and it wasn't unexpected, but he was he was in and out of the hospital a lot, sick a lot. So it wasn't unexpected, but it was still a surprise.
Still
And
hard,
then
right.
within a year and a half, my mom passed. Now that was
Mm,
totally unexpected.
mm.
Before she passed, my niece was hit by a car and killed. She was 8
Oh, oh,
accidentally. So,
oh,
well, my
right
daughter's
away.
turning 8 soon here, so I'll be
Mm,
glad because she'll be over that hump.
yeah,
But in my mind anyway. So
sure,
so I had all
sure.
those tragic things going on back to back to back to back. And
Yeah.
so that just, skyrocketed my weight. That's how I got over 300 pounds. And I would always say, I'm never gonna get over 300 pounds. Like that was my goal. I'm the type of person I would diet down before I went to my doctor because I didn't want that to be on my record. That
Yeah,
I was,
no, I've done that.
over that 300-pound mark. But then I got there and I kind of sat in it. And I was just like, what am I going to do? Which leads me up to my, GLP-1 journey. So I don't know if you
Well,
wanted to go into that or.
yeah, so, well, tell me, I mean, do you wanna tell your starting weight?
Well, my
Or
starting weight, and actually I noticed I was higher than this, but my starting weight, with taking the GLP-1 was 306.4.
mhm,
So, yes, that was my starting weight. So I had gotten over that 300 and was, like I said, I was sitting in it comfortably
yeah.
at the 300 mark.
Tell us about these pictures.
Well, that picture where I have the striped pants on, I was at a dinner. That was actually one of my birthday dinners, and that was the highest weight I had been. When I look at that picture up close, I see my face. Um, I just can't believe that's me. I'm like, I
Oh,
can't believe I look like that. I don't know if you guys, because you've been on a weight loss journey too. So I don't know if you've ever looked at yourself and thought, I'm looking bigger. And I finally got to that point where I looked at myself and I kinda didn't recognize myself. I'm like,
yeah.
"Who is this?" Because my face was so chunky
I think we
and
got
not let
kind of
alone my
Yeah,
body, because 'cause I'm used to my body being bigger, but my face, I feel like caught up with my body at one point, and
mm,
that just, but none of that really, none of that you look at that face, look at that chunky face, and look at that. And so but none
yeah,
of that really, motivated me enough to, I wanna say motivated me enough. None of that was able to get me to, like, try something different because, I've been to doctors before. I was at a boot camp before where it was like cut out carbs, no carbs, and I was successful at losing, I wanna say a little over 50 pounds, between 50 and 55 pounds. But it was so strict. It was strict. And I needed that. I needed that accountability. I was working out 3 times a week. I
mm.
was cutting out carbs and I got to the point where I just wanted carbs. Like I'm a carb girl. I don't know if you guys are carb,
Oh,
but
yeah. Oh,
carbs
yeah.
are my friend.
Yeah.
Now,
Mhm,
overeating carbs, that's not the smart thing to do, but I love all things carbs. And so at this boot camp, I got so tired of not eating the carbs that I, gave up the diet they put me on and I went to Weight Watchers.
Okay.
And Weight Watchers, I've had a love-hate relationship with Weight Watchers, on and off relationship. It's kind of like it sounds like you would have with a boyfriend, right? Like on and off, love, hate. And Weight Watchers, I feel like at Weight Watchers, I would be so diligent tracking those points. And I know you can relate to this because I've watched your channel.
Yeah.
You're tracking those points, you're doing all the right things. You go in to weigh in, it's like a point two. I'm like, you
Yeah.
gotta be kidding me. A point two? Like, where's the
Right.
two in front of that?
Right.
And so,
Exactly.
when you first go, the first month, I would say, or a couple of weeks, you maybe see those pounds come off. And
Yeah.
then after that, it's very slow and steady, which is
Mhm.
good. Now that I know that's good now, but at the time, I felt like I was giving up so much and sacrificing, not eating this and walking past that I wanted to see results a lot faster with that Weight Watchers, and that wasn't happening. So on that boot camp, though, I started losing. The lady could tell I wasn't doing the no carb. She's like, I can tell by the way your body looks. I could tell by the way,
So she
these
can't?
pounds are shredding, because she knows when you're not eating carbs, you're dropping fast. I had started dropping the Weight Watchers. Now I was doing a little bit better than the point two or point eight because I was also exercising 3 to 4 times a week and it was heavy duty
Yeah.
exercise. But so I did that, and then when the boot camp was over, I stopped the boot camp because a lot of the ladies at the boot camp were just really big, and the boot camp worked because she was holding you accountable, but she was also saying things out to you in public that you didn't want people to say, call you names or making comments. And so
Yeah.
that scared me. Like I never wanted her to call me a name and I don't mean like a name, like she would say, you're fat or, why'd
Oh,
you eat
no.
that donut? Because you had to document what you ate. And she would say to, the
Yeah.
people, why did you eat that? You're too big to eat that. Like comments like that. And I saw her say this to a lady in front of everybody, and it just made my heart break. And I thought, this is not the place for me. I just am going
No.
to be, bigger. I'm just
Yeah.
destined
Yeah.
because I can't stay here. That just made me sad. I remember driving home and just in tears, like thinking about this lady and how she felt. And so that, is what got me away from that boot camp. But I continued to exercise. So I always tell people I'm either eating how I'm supposed to be eating and not exercising, or I'm exercising and not eating how I'm supposed to be eating. That's like
It's
the
hard to get
story
them
of my
going at
weight
the
loss.
same
Yeah.
time, right? Yeah, that
Yes.
was
Yes.
always me. It was hard to if I could get them going at the same time, I always did better, but I was either, like, more focused on the exercise or more focused on the eating. It was hard to, like, get them down at the same time. So when did you start your, GLP-1, and which one did you start?
Well, so initially, I went to the doctor. I celebrated 50, all things fabulous 50, right? Celebrated 50. And I'm not a drinker, but some of I had some sweet kind of drinks with, they didn't probably have alcohol in them, but it was like the sweet drinks that I was eating cake. I have different cliques of friends, group here, group there. So I was going out to dinners, to breakfasts. And I thought in my A1C, I was already a pre-diabetic. I knew I
Mhm.
was pre-diabetic. So when I went to the doctor that summer, my A1C was 7.6, and I said, "You are kidding me." I could not believe it, which technically now I'm a diabetic.
Oh,
And so I thought this could never be. Like, so the 300 pounds wasn't enough to say this would never be, but that A1C. And I think because over the years, I've seen or heard of people who have lost limbs or,
mhm,
had a lot of things happen to their body because of, having that high blood sugar level. And so I
mhm,
thought, this is not going to be me. So when I went to the doctor, I have a new doctor at this point. My previous doctor retired. And so I have a new doctor. And, this lady she's a sweetheart. She really wants to cater to you. I feel like, because for years, I've asked doctors for an appetite suppression. Like my doctor, I went to a bariatric specialist,
mm,
weight doctor.
mhm,
And it's all funny because the bariatric doctor, after talking to me, went there for an appetite suppression, but it was a recommendation for bariatric surgery. And he told me, he said, you're very smart. He said, you can do this. You do not need an appetite suppression. He says, all that you have going for you, you need to use that to lose weight. And so,
Okay.
that has been a recurring theme. Like doctors have told me that, like they just like,
Yeah.
you can do this, you can do this on your
Just
own.
diet and
But I,
exercise. You're smart. Why can't you figure it out?
and
Right?
meanwhile, I'm saying I can't do it. And now I know why I can't because my body doesn't work like those people that can actually do that. And so I
Exactly.
kind of, liken myself to Oprah in this way because I always think everything I wanted to do in my life, I've been able to accomplish it and be successful,
Right.
except for this weight.
Right.
So I've always thought in the back of my mind, it's like something's going on with my body that can't be like everybody else. But I never had facts or information to back it up. And so now I feel so empowered that I do because, yeah, I've always known that just something was odd. So this doctor, she introduced me to Rybelsus. And so Rybelsus is the pill form of Ozempic. And really, she tried to get me to take Ozempic. And I said, oh, no, 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 I will not take a shot. I will not take an injection. I was afraid.
Yeah.
And so she said, oh, it's people, she didn't have one in the office to show me, but she's like, oh, it's seamless. I think I want to say she pulled up her cell phone to maybe show me something. And I just was so against it. But I said, I'll take the pill. I'll take the pill. So she started me off on, I think it starts at 3 and then it goes to 7 and then 14. So she started me off at the 3 and she told me to take half of it. And you had to take it on an empty stomach, 8 ounces of water. On the 3, I was fine, but I didn't really notice a whole lot of anything happening. Remember, I was taking that half and then I graduated up to
Mhm.
the whole pill. And then I didn't really notice a whole lot, but I started to feel nauseous, and I think that's because you're not eating, right? You're taking it on an empty stomach. And then so I started when I got to the 7, I just could not function. The thing
Mm,
I did was I waited until the summer,
mhm.
to take it, because I thought even though she had told me about it, I thought, "Okay, if I'm having effects or something, I'm off on summer vacation because I'm
Right.
an educator." And so that summer, my goal was to exercise and to clean out my closet and, organize
Mm,
things in my house. When I tell you I could not do any of that, my energy was so zapped. I felt very bloated and stuff, like
mm,
uncomfortable. So
mm.
I see why people can't eat, if they're, having these effects, but you need to eat and then you're feeling nauseous because you haven't eaten. And I just
Right.
thought there's no way that I could go into school like this. So then I got to the point, I think my body got a little bit used to it. I was feeling better, but just my energy was zapped. And so I even tried like the 14 because I thought, I want to see
Mm.
like, what is this 14 going to do? And I
Yeah.
even tried, I think I still have that bottle. And so, of course, that was just took me out. Like, just none of the levels worked for me. It just didn't make me feel comfortable. I guess I couldn't function. And
Yeah.
so when I went back to my doctor, she said, well, your A1C has gone down. Like you've added years to your life. I went back in August. This is from June, just that little time from June to
Yeah.
August. You've added years to your life. You have a young daughter. And I said, yeah, but I have to also like interact with my young daughter. I can't do that taking this medication, So I
Yeah.
thought I left out of there thinking, I am determined. I am going to do this on my own. I had so much to, live for. I was just motivated. And I thought, okay, maybe this medicine will have like a lasting effect on me. And mind you, another thing is I didn't change a whole lot because she told
Mm.
me this is it's just like an appetite suppressant. You do what you normally do, but you won't eat as much. So I
Right.
think that's also played into why I was probably feeling nauseous and all of that.
Mhm.
So go fast forward to February of last year, 2024. And I went back to the doctor and I said, Doc, this is just, I mean, I'm gaining, nothing's working. My appetite is, I feel like it's out of control because I know I shouldn't be eating. I want to eat even more.
Right.
And so she said, well, you didn't want to, you still don't want to try the Ozempic. I said, well, I said, the pill didn't work. Isn't it exactly like the pill? She says, yes, but they have this new medication. It's called Mounjaro. And she says, it has two, agonists that work for you instead of the one that Ozempic had. And she said, and it's not a lot of reports of people getting as sick on it as
Yeah.
it was with Ozempic. And she said, so you can try that. And she said, but they don't have a pill. She says, so what are you going to do? And I said, I gotta go for it. I gotta go for it. I gotta do
Yeah.
it. So I left out of that office feeling like when I left out, like, how did I get how did I come out of here with the injection? Something I'm gonna inject. And
Yeah.
so I'm telling you, all the way up until I got to that pharmacist, because the pharmacist is the where I, get my prescriptions are right across the street from where we were at. And when I get over there, I'm in line and I'm thinking, am I really doing this? Am I really doing this? And I thought for sure when I got home and looked at that injection, I wasn't going to take it. And I didn't immediately. I waited until, like I always say, whenever I started a new diet, it was Monday, right? And so, but this I started on Saturday. And I took that injection. And, again, I did that because I'm an educator and I work with little
Right.
ones, and you just have to have energy for them. And
Right.
I also have a little one at home. So I waited till Saturday, and that started my GLP-1 journey. I took that injection. It was seamless. I couldn't believe it. I thought, and I was just thinking, like, I need an audience here, like a witness almost. And there was nobody to witness it. It was just, I say this, it was me, it was my walls, and whatever was playing on that TV. And I went for it. And I haven't looked back since, really.
Well, awesome. So, so were you less nauseous on Mounjaro than you had been on the Rybelsus?
Um, I was not nauseous. I've only had, other than constipation, the only side effects I've had is being very fatigued, but I don't know if
Mhm.
it's that or if it's perimenopause. So I think because I was feeling
Mhm.
tired also with perimenopause. But I
Right.
knew you can tell when it's a little bit more. So some of
Yeah.
that I think it's going to happen because my body is going through this change right now. So I
Right.
don't know. I wish they would do studies on that. I want to be a part of the study on that before
Well,
it's too
fatigue
late.
is definitely part of it. I
Yes,
can
yeah.
agree with that.
No, I mean
Yeah.
on perimenopause and how
Yeah.
it affects this medication. Because I
Yeah.
think, a lot of my perimenopausal symptoms have just gone down since I've been taking this medication. I mean, I had a cycle that was out of control. When I started this medication, it controlled it. There's an event that I plan for my district for all the a certain grade level, and our district is
Mhm.
a huge event, and I'm the hostess of it, right? The hostess with the mostest. And I didn't know if I could make the event because my cycle was so heavy, it prevented me
Wow.
from going to work. I mean, I was out of work so many days because my cycle was so heavy that I
Mm.
just could not function. I couldn't change fast enough. And
Yeah.
so I was so worried about this event. And then and I said, okay, maybe my cycle won't come because it's not regular. And so when I get to May, it came, but it came and it was like normal. It played normal.
Normal.
And I know it's because of this medication because it had never happened in a year or two before that. So I
Yeah.
really attribute the medication to that. And it's been like that ever since I've been taking Manjaro. So that's a win.
How old are you,
But
Shay? Are you 50?
I'm 52.
52, okay. Yeah,
52.
so
Yes.
alright, so in the 3 months from February to May, it kinda evened things out, I guess, a little bit.
It
And
helped. I think it really helped.
then from May till now, are you still irregular, or did it make it more regular?
I am missing in action. Yeah, I mean, I haven't, I'm going through that change. In order to be totally in menopause, you have to have a year straight. So I'm getting close. We'll
Well,
see. We'll see what
I don't
happens.
I don't know if you've watched me tell this part of the story on the
I have
channel.
many times.
So, we started at the end of September, and I was irregular, I was what was I, 54, 53, whatever at the time. It very irregular, and then I got super regular, like August, September, November no, it was October, November, December. Boom, boom, boom. Regular, and then nothing. Nothing. And that was December, and then I went to my doctor for a checkup in March, and she tested all my, estrogen levels or whatever, and they came back as fully in menopause. And I'm like, "How did
Yeah.
I go from December to March, and now these levels show" I said, "I thought you had to be, like, without a cycle for a year." She said, "Well, sometimes it just happens this way. You just" I really think the compounded tirzepatide just unblocked something, or, may you know what? I have no idea, but I really think that that really had an effect, and so now it's been a year, and I have had no more cycle, so I'm like, "Thank you, tirzepatide." So I bet it's helped you in that same way. I mean, and I don't know if there's any studies or any,
Haven't seen any.
I've heard people say it, they've gotten pregnant, because
Yeah, I
it
have
made
to.
them more regular, but I mean, I have my tubes tied, so that's not happening for
Well, so
me.
let's go back though and get the numbers because people always want to know the numbers, the
The
details, right?
numbers.
Well, let's start
Yeah.
with the easy one. How tall are you?
I'm 5'4.5", and give me
Well,
that
you're in the
half.
club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah.
So
That's my 5'4" club. Yeah, I'm
So
5'4".
5'4.5",
Yeah.
52 years old. You started in February at what, 30 something? What did you start at?
306.4.
Yes. And so what are you today?
Today, as of this morning, you get the exclusive. I am 248.8. So that means I'm
Yay!
down 57.6 pounds. I'm so excited about that.
Wow, that's
And I
awesome.
thank you. And I set goals for myself, so I am slow. I thought I was a slow responder, but I'm slow and steady. And so that's a little bit over a pound average. Yeah, I get the confetti.
Yeah. Yeah, a
I'm a
little bit
little
over a
over a
pound a
pound.
week.
Yeah,
That's
which is
right
right,
in
which
the
is
average here.
great. Right.
Mhm.
If you were giving advice to your daughter, if I were giving advice to my daughter about losing weight, we always think we want that fast weight loss. But if I was giving advice to, my daughter about losing weight, I would tell her slow and steady is the way to go. And now that I'm 11 months in, I don't feel like it's been slow and steady. I just feel like it's just
Right.
been, I wanted to point out because I know people are going to watch these videos and we talk about Weight Watchers versus GLP-1 natural versus, GLP-1 weight loss. And I want to say, Weight Watchers weight loss was different for me because I'm doing all the same things really on Weight Watchers that I'm doing with the GLP-1. I mean, I'm
Yep.
tracking my calories.
Yep.
My calories started off at 1800. I got that from the TDEE calculator.
Yeah.
And then so now I'm around the 1590 range. So I would say I probably need to recalculate that. The difference is with this medication than when Weight Watchers, I feel like I was putting so much effort, like working so hard, I was doing
Yep.
some of the exact same things, but my mind was always consumed with like food.
Yep.
That was the added thing,
Yeah.
like what I was going to eat, when I was going to eat,
Right.
how much I was going to eat, but not to the point of a food addict because I have a couple of friends that call themselves food addicts and they're on a whole nother level with thinking about food than I ever was. But with this medication, I'm thinking about food too, but I'm not thinking about, I call it food chatter. They call it food noise. I call it chatter.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about food in a way of like preparing for my meal, preparing for the week, preparing, my
Yeah.
meal prepping for the week, being prepared, being organized. I'm an organized person and I've
Yeah.
organized my weight loss. And so it seems a little bit more seamless than all the things I was doing with Weight Watchers because now, I might have food chatter, but it's in the fourth, fifth, or sixth day
Right.
into the injection, and
Yeah.
it's controllable, right? I feel like I can manage that, whereas I'm not managing it 7 days out of the week. I'm only managing it 2 or 3,
Yeah.
and so that is the difference for me with taking the medication versus being on Weight Watchers. It frees your mind, and what does it free my mind to do? Be on YouTube.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of these GLP-1 medications is that you don't have that food chatter, that food noise, you're not constantly thinking now about what you're gonna eat next, what's your next snack, and it allows you, like you said, to plan your week, plan your meals, all and you still need to do all that. You're working, you have to figure out, you have to shop, you have to prepare, you have a child, you have to make sure you have food in the house and all that stuff. So you still have to do all that, but it takes away that kind of obsessive like, okay, I just wrote down that I ate an apple and then what am I going to have for dinner and then how many points is that? I could eat the 0 point foods and how many of those it just kinda takes away that whole, like, obsessiveness, I feel
Yeah,
like,
that's that.
because it the GLP-1s help your brain fill in that piece that you're missing.
To me, the biggest difference in watching you do it is on Weight Watchers, you were always trying to trick the system.
Oh, yeah. How
It
much
was
can I
always,
eat?
how much can I eat for the lowest amount of points?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
got 23 points. What am I gonna eat
There's no
today?
tricking GLP-1s.
I wanna eat the greatest
No.
volume of food for those 23 points. And now on GLP-1, it's more like, "Oh, it's lunchtime. Okay, let's eat lunch." Alright.
Yes. Isn't
It
that a
might last
great
too
feeling
long.
to go for so long? I could go for a long time in the day. And my first thoughts on what am I gonna eat is,
Right.
doing everything else I need to do. And then it's like, okay, I need to eat, but I'm still getting in those 1,500 calories. Like I've been,
Yeah.
and that's why my weight loss has been, over time, like the slow and steady, because I
Yeah.
am getting in the calories. Yeah, I want my hair to stay in. I don't want hair loss,
Yeah.
I just need everything that's kind of maintained and, for the weight to go where it needs to go. And and I want to say too, I whatever however you do it, I think is perfect for you, right? We're all different, we all say that,
Right.
but we got to mean it. Well, however you decide to lose this weight with your GLP-1, I support that if it's good for you and with the help of your doctor. But for me, I want to be able to maintain this when I am hopefully off the medication. When I get in my golden years, I don't know if my insurance is going to cover this medication. And I
Yeah.
don't want one more thing to have to worry about to afford. Now, if I have to, I will do it and make it work. But my plan is to be off of this when I can get to my, goal weight, or it's close to, what my doctor and I feel my goal weight should be. And so I'm eating the way. So in other words, when I'm off this medication, I could still eat 1,500 calories and be very satisfied. If I were eating 800 or 1,000, I would not make it. I would not
Yeah.
make it. So that's
Yeah.
why I am, eating food now. Like I'm making myself eat. There are time, and when I say
Yeah.
making myself eat, I don't mean like yeah, I'm forcing myself. I mean, I know that I need to get 400 more calories. So I might drink a protein shake. I might eat a little piece of chicken, whatever I need to eat. I might
Yeah.
eat a protein bar to get to that 1,590. It's 1,590. It might
Yeah.
have gone down now. So I
Yeah.
am eating. So that, I'm eating and I'm enjoying my food. And, I balance it out. When I go to have a celebration, I eat more, I eat a little bit less, which is right. The Weight Watchers way, right? That's what we
Right.
used to do to balance out those calories. So I
Right.
guess the message I want to put out here too is to people is, um, let's talk about the numbers. My A1C went from a 7.6 to now it's at a 6.1. I'm still pre-diabetic, so I still have work to do. I visit my doctor next month. And, whether I titrate up or not will depend on where that A1C is.
Mhm.
So I'm, looking forward to seeing what we do with that. But currently I'm on 10 milligrams. My blood pressure was high. I always took pride in being a bigger woman that didn't have a health issue. And people always told me, once you turn 50, it's all going to hit the fan. And they were so right. I mean, I was hovering, at a high level of weight and functioning really well, I think, in society for the
Yeah.
most part. And when I hit 50, I'm telling you, it just all blew up. Like the high blood pressure was rolling in.
Yeah.
My high blood pressure, I got up to a 156 over 101. And when I
Mm.
went to my doctor, I mean, to me, besides the A1C, that's like the biggest accomplishment for me because it was normal 120 over 80.
Mm.
And I was just like, oh, my doctor, when she took my blood pressure, my daughter was in there with me and she's like, do you want to do a happy dance? I said, I do. Like, make some room so I could do one because I was so excited that, my blood pressure had gone down. So these are all things that happen because of, Menjaro, the GLP-1, and you're controlling that appetite and actually, triggering my brain to cut out this food chatter that I
Yeah.
had going on. And like I said, I still have a little bit of it. It's not totally gone, but it doesn't kick in, like I said, until, those first 3 or 4 days of the injection. It's all good. And then it just kind of
Yeah.
dwindles
Well, and
down.
for
And then that's when I say, everybody take I want everybody to take credit though for what you're doing on these GLP-1s because it's not all the medication. It is you. I want that to get that message out. It's what you're deciding to eat, what you're deciding
Right.
not to eat,
Right.
how much of it you're deciding to eat, because you can overeat these medications. I think that's a
Yep.
real thing. People think like, oh, you
Yeah.
can't eat. You can eat. You can eat. So the choice is yours. And we are doing it. We are making that choice.
Yeah, for sure. And for people that may not know how these GLP-1s work, the medication has a half-life in your body of about 5 days. So the first 5 days after you take the medication, you generally have the best appetite suppression and control, right? And then it's those days
Yeah.
5 through 7 where you might feel a little hungrier, might, hear that food chatter, that food noise coming back a little bit. So yeah, I've definitely noticed that as well.
Well, so when you're on the 10 milligram dose, and this is where it will go back to we're not doctors, but we always like to talk about titration, particularly for someone like you who is a type 2 diabetic. Lots of people out there playing with dosages and titrations, doing their own thing. For diabetics, particularly, please talk to your doctor and make sure you're taking care of yourself because that's a different sort of treatments. We want to make sure that you're
Yeah.
working closely with a medical health
Yeah.
professional on that.
Yeah, and
I
you
would
I
say for
mean
sure.
and what you were saying about being a heavier person, but being very healthy, I kind of felt that way too, and then, but I do think it catches up to you, right? I do think, you start having the higher blood pressure, the A1C starts climbing, as you get older, things start happening that are, weight related. So it's good that you, took control of your health and are on this GLP-1 journey. How much more weight would you like to lose, Shay?
My goal is to lose, I wanna get to 100 pounds down. So what is that? I mean, I think I have, what, 42 more pounds,
Yeah.
42.4
Yeah.
or something like that, more pounds to lose.
Uh-huh.
So that's my first goal, but I still need to go farther than that. My dream is to be in Wonderland with Chris and you and Chris. We're in Wonderland. I'm
Yep,
gonna
Mhm.
celebrate that.
yep,
But I do want to say, being a bigger person, it can't be healthy to have fat around your organs the way I
right,
had. So I do want to say that. When I say that, I mean when I would go to the doctor, all my blood work would come back fabulous. Like, my doctor always tells me my cholesterol is better than hers. So that's what I mean by healthy according to the numbers. But I'm
right,
sure, having fat around your heart and your belly and all of that is not the healthiest, but it wasn't where it was affecting my numbers where and they would put in your chart. I don't know if you guys ever read your medical chart, but they would put all these conditions and then they would say but not with any significant detriment
Yeah,
to your
you
health
you
or
don't you
whatever.
don't like the morbid obesity written there, though, that's
Yes, yes, yes.
you went in
So I
for
will.
what, you went in for what, a ear infection, and
Yep.
the doctor wrote morbidly obese in the notes.
Oh gosh, isn't that a bummer to see that? So,
Yeah,
they're talking about changing that BMI. That's
Yep.
another thing that's going to
yeah,
be, it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. So I want to tell you too, when I went to the doctor, being a type 2 diabetic, she, I had weight loss and she loved it. She loved that I was going slow and steady. This was in November. But
mhm,
she wanted me to titrate up to from 7.5 to 10 because of my A1C. And so I think for me, being on Mounjaro, that's the thing I have to, weight loss is a side effect. Really
right,
what led me to go on it was, like I said, I became a type 2 diabetic and I said,
right,
"Oh no. Oh no, no, no. I got to get this under control." So
yeah.
I am on it for that A1C to go down, and then weight loss is just a side effect that I'm feel blessed to have, and so
Yeah.
that is my focus. So I'm doing fine on 10. I'm losing and I'm feeling good. But if I go to that doctor in a couple of weeks and she says your A1C has not moved, I may be up to 12.5. Do I want to titrate up? No, because I do see the value in staying, on
You
the
know
lower
what?
doses as long as you can.
But you know what, Shay, and what I wanna tell you, what I want people to know is you have to do the right dose for your body, right?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter
Mhm.
if it's 5, if it's 7.5, if it's 10, if it's 12, if it's 15. It it doesn't matter because if you and your doctor decide that's the right dose for you, there should be no. I've seen people almost, like, be ashamed that they had to move up in dose. This is obesity, type 2 diabetes, they're diseases, right? We're not in
Mhm.
control of them, it's not our fault, and if your body needs that higher dose, take the higher that's what
Oh
you
yeah,
and
I
your doctor,
definitely
what I
will.
mean?
I'm gonna
Like,
take it.
yeah, yeah, I mean, I just do whatever is best for you. Yeah, I've seen people lose 50 pounds on 2.5, and I've seen people have to go all the way up to 15 to get results. So it's so varies, and especially with type 2 diabetes involved, I'm glad you're working so closely with your doctor. That's great.
Yeah, can we pause for a second? I'm
Yeah.
sorry, my daughter is in here. Honey, go. You have to go. It's fine. I'm keeping track of the time. No, 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock.
What time is
I'm sorry. Oh, sorry about that.
No
Okay.
worries.
Okay.
it? No worries. Um,
So let's talk about your daughter, because obviously she's seen you do all of that. What has her thoughts been on this whole journey over the last year?
Well, she's been great. She's been trying to get on my YouTube channel for the longest time now, and I told her no. So I let her little voice play. I'll show a picture of her, from the back. I told her, one of these days we're gonna put her in there with the sunglasses. She says, "Mommy, I'll get you a lot of views." So, but I don't want her on there. But she is so helpful. She has been. One of the things she told me that I thought was so cute is the other day I was changing my shirt and she walked in my room and she said, "Mommy, I can see your belly button." And so I thought, my belly must be going down. I feel like that's the last place that fat wants to leave my body is the belly. So that was
yeah.
a great compliment. But she's very supportive and she'll let me know if I'm not eating the right thing.
Well,
Well, that's
well, so
good.
you mentioned your channel. So tell us about the channel and how that came about.
Well, I decided to start a channel. I was coming on YouTube to listen to different people to hear about the medication because I didn't get like those marching orders of what to eat and how to eat and all of that. And so I, of course, went on YouTube. And when you go on YouTube, you're looking for information. And then I ran across channels of, people who were kind of the same, weight as I was. And, you look for all of that and just seeing how the
Yeah.
medications work. And so I thought, I'm going to document my journey. I thought this is a way to hold myself accountable because no one else is on this journey that I know. I didn't really tell any friends and family until I lost 40 pounds. I think by the
Mhm.
time I was 40 pounds down, it's probably maybe close to 40. It's the first time I told people. So I was on this journey solo. And so in June, I like I said, I'm an educator. So in the summer we were off and I thought I'm hiring a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Last year I spent my summer with Pilates, doing Pilates, and I loved it. But I thought I needed to take it up a notch from Pilates. So I thought I'm hiring a personal trainer. And I never got to that because I've been doing YouTube videos, teaching myself how to edit and learning how, just how the whole YouTube video production thing works.
Mhm.
So I said to myself, I'm just going to be audio because you can't tell from this interview, but I am a shy person. You have to get me going and feel comfortable to get me to talk. I could be talkative or not. And the times that I'm not, people think something's wrong because, I can talk. And so I thought, okay, I'm just going to do this audio. And so I was going to be a podcast. And I decided when I lost 30 pounds, I said, wow, you can really see the change, in myself. I could see the change. And so I said, I'm going to post this at the end of the video. Somebody sticks around to the end, they would have to see this at the end, right? So and I had like at this point, like 20 faithful subscribers. I mean, everything I posted, they were on it. They were so supportive. They kept me going, held me accountable. And so when I posted that before and after pictures, I got this one lady just really touched my heart and said, you were the same size I started at. She's like, I'm glad I have a visual of you.
Aw.
She says, I can relate to your story. And she said, you have just inspired me and motivated me. And so I thought to myself, how can I go on a weight loss journey and not, show my pictures of myself or show video? So it still took me a while. It still took me a while. So that was, I want to say, it wasn't right away, but I eventually started, showing myself on video. And then I gave a challenge to myself and said, okay, if I get up to 50 subscribers, I will go live. And so I contacted 4 of my friends. Now, mind you, I had to tell them I was doing this because they didn't know. So I contacted them and I said, I'm going live. I have 50 subscribers. You guys have to come on there. So it could be me and the 4 of us, and they weren't going to comment or anything. They just were going to be watching. And so I had some viewers. I couldn't believe it. I had people actually watching. And so that kind of started me off on my journey. And I actually, for somebody to be as shy as I can be and everything, I'm going live more than I'm probably making videos at this point
Mhm.
because I just love the feedback from the audience. I love the interaction. And so my channel, I call my channel what do I call it? The little mighty engine that could, I'm small but mighty. I'm small but mighty. And so I feel like, the best thing on there, as a teacher, you got to have a heart to be a teacher, especially like a elementary teacher. You have to have a certain type of a heart. I also think you have to have that kind of a heart to be on YouTube, trying to inspire and motivate people on a
Mhm.
weight loss journey. And so
Mhm.
this was like the perfect thing for me to do. I have some subscribers that, just send me emails, and I'm in tears every other day. I'm at work reading my emails in tears because people have told me how much, just watching me and going on the journey with me has inspired them. And one of the things I wanted to do too is find a way to give back. And so around Thanksgiving time, I was going through my clothes, and so a lot of my clothes don't fit. And I have all things fabulous in that closet. And so I still have tags on things. And so
Mhm.
I said to my subscribers, during one of my lives, I said that if there's anybody that is losing weight and going down to like a size 20 to 18, I want to give you some clothes. I want to give
Yeah,
you clothes that I can't fit. Instead of giving them, I normally donate,
right.
to a charity. But and I still have a bag full of things that I thought I could go to a charity, but I wanted to give the subscribers something new because I know that could be an expense when you're losing so fast, and you have to buy new clothes. I wanted to be able to do that for someone. So I did get that box off to one of my subscribers,
Oh,
and she
nice.
thought the clothes were so beautiful. And
Aw,
so that really touched my heart that I was able to, bless her in that way. And so I'm not probably, I for sure will do it again. And that's my way of kind of giving back. I really believe in that. And so that's, all good things are happening on my channel. All good things are happening on
nice.
my channel. I'm going live now. I'm doing 3 times a week. I go live on Wednesdays, go live on Sundays, and I go live on Fridays. And this is so funny. The Friday lives where I'm going live, we're talking about relationships because I'm single and ready to mingle. Now,
Oh, there you
I
go.
no, I say that, but I don't know how true that is. Like, that's what I'm feeling today. I
Yeah.
always say, Chris, a lady has a right to change her mind.
Oh,
So
of
Oh,
when
yeah.
Lorraine
course.
changes her mind about something, you got to be okay with that.
Oh,
She
yeah.
knows.
We know. Well, so let's go back to the channel though, because I want to make sure people know, right? So your channel on YouTube is Downsizing Diva.
Yes,
Shay's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers.
I
So
am.
once we finish this here, you click over there and go to Downsizing Diva on YouTube. You click subscribe, like, hit the bell. That way it'll alert you every time she goes live. So
3 times a week.
yeah,
3 times a week. Yes. I
let's
might be
let's
cutting
just get
that
her
back
pushed
to
over that
2.
1,000 number.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yes,
sure.
yes, yes. So that has been super helpful. And then so I'm trying to scale the dating back though, the going live every week. When you go live, you guys are live. You want to have things to talk about. So as long as people want me to go live, I'll go live. If it's kind of slacks off, then I'll cut back. But so far it's just been picking up steam. And so
I pop on there
yeah,
when I
I
see you
love it.
come up. So
And yeah, you've been on there. You guys, I want to thank you so much. You guys have been so supportive of my journey and, coming into the lives and, just being supportive, making comments. And I'm on your channel too. I love your channel. I love what you guys have
we
going on
appreciate it.
over
You.
here. I think you're doing a fabulous job. I told Chris my go-to for the updates, what's going on with Eli Lilly and,
Yep.
all things GLP-1. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being a subscriber for the Downsized. And we're definitely a subscriber to Downsizing Diva. I hope everyone out there will go and subscribe to
Mhm.
both. So, um, yeah, I think that'll. You have any more questions?
No,
I think
just really, we
that'll
always like to
that'll
close it
do
out
it.
and just
Yeah.
do you have any tips, tricks, anything that your last words of wisdom here?
My tips and tricks, tips and tricks. Well, I would say, I guess I'm thinking about it from what I wish I had known. I wish somebody had told me how important protein was before I started this journey
Mhm.
because I always associated protein with like building muscle.
Mhm.
And that's really it. Like not really how it digests in your body, how it keeps you fuller longer, all those other fabulous things that it does for you. And so I would say, focus on that protein, get your water in. I drink at least 64 ounces. I have to admit, I was a water girl before this. I've always been a water drinker. So it's not, that part was not hard for me. getting your fabulous sleep. I mean, that
Mhm.
really helped you on a weight loss journey. I think that's one of the
Right.
things that we don't talk about as much as getting that sleep in there. But one thing that I will say that is so important is even if you don't want to track your calories, because I keep account of, what I'm eating. And at this point, I have a picture in my mind of, yeah, I could calculate it up. Like I feel like I'm the bionic woman in that way. I could tell you like how much calories are in the meal I'm eating. But even if you don't want to keep track, because I get people are fatigued with tracking of anything at this point. So I would say take a picture of what you're eating, meal prep for the week, get an idea of what that looks like. And when you have a successful week, repeat that. It's okay to rinse and repeat.
Right.
And that's going to keep you, without tracking, everything so diligently, that's going to keep you, on focus. And another thing I did that I added late, and we didn't really talk about exercise, but I was doing exercises pretty much from the beginning, kind of like push-ups, things with my own body weight, because I thought I have a lot of body weight. Like this body weight is competing with those heavy weights, right? So I
Yeah.
was doing things like, kind of like when I get out of the bed, leg lifts and, ab work and things like that. But I wasn't adding in weights. And the main reason why I did not is because I have a little bit of arthritis in my back. I have a little bit of arthritis in my knee. And of course, taking the weight off has helped with that. Like inflammation kind of went away the first month, or I would say week or two, when I started taking Mounjaro. So that's been a plus. But I never want to be one of those people to injure my back or my knee, because I've seen, how it
Yeah.
has affected people. And so I made a conscious choice to kind of take it easy with the exercise and just do what I could until I got a lot of the weight off. So now I'm under 250, which was a great goal. And so I can, kind of amp that up. So I've been adding in strength training to my workouts with weights. And I would show you these muscles, but I'm going to save that for another time. So,
That's awesome.
so I've been lifting weights and feeling great about it. I think that's what we have to do, especially when you get a woman over a certain age into your 40s and 50s. That strength training is not only going to help with muscle, which we know muscle burns more fat. It's also going to help your metabolism. But another thing that it does is it helps your bones, and
Right.
when you get older, we're over 50. When you fall, that you want to fall gracefully. You don't want to fall
Right.
and you can't get back up right away, right? And so strength training and using those weights is going to help with that. And so if someone had set me down and told me those things, I think I would have been off to a much better start. And so I'm saying that to you. I'm passing it on. I
Awesome.
say, do all the things you know to do, but that weight training is great. I've also added in Taibo. I don't know if you guys remember Billy Blanks back
Oh
in the
yeah.
Oh,
day.
yeah.
I've added him in because I love a good kickboxing session. So I've added
Yeah.
him in. So I'm doing the strength training twice a week. That third day, I should say, I'm doing the Billy Blanks. And then I also have added in a fourth day now just to, kind of keep the momentum going. So I'm headed on that road to losing 100 pounds. And my next little goal here is to lose well, now it's not 6 more pounds I need. I need to lose 2.4 more pounds before I see my doctor, because then I would be at 60 pounds lost.
Oh,
So in my
awesome.
first year. So that's a goal. So, and I would also say to you guys, I'm a goal setter, and I'd like to call myself a goal crusher too. Set little goals for yourself. Set little goals for yourself. I wouldn't set a huge big goal.
Mhm.
Set realistic goals, because I think that's why I got into the comparison game that I think,
Yeah.
many of us have found ourselves in, because
Yeah.
I would see other people losing super fast. And, I would say they're not, I got to the point where it took me a while, but I got to the point where I thought, they don't have diabetes. They're not 52.
Right.
They don't have the health history I have. And so when you don't know what goes on with people and you're just trying to compare based on looks and what they say, that's not the way to go. You kind of have to go with your doctor, your body, what you know about yourself. And that set me free. And now I
That's
still
awesome.
see people who have lost, because I'm a bigger girl still. I consider myself a bigger girl still. And when I see people who have lost, 80 pounds at the same point I'm at now, I just think, what are they? I have to say to myself, they're exercising a lot more than me. They're exercising heavy. They're cutting out carbs. A lot of people that are diabetic cut out carbs. I have not cut out carbs. I
Yeah.
still love a good carb, so I can tell you all about the healthier carbs, but I'm going to eat carbs. Am I not going to eat carbs for the rest of my life, Chris? No, no,
Right.
no, no.
Right.
So I still incorporate those carbs. And so what I'm doing, I can maintain it. I can maintain it. I really believe I can maintain it. And so that's
Right.
the kind of
That's the key.
thinking I'm doing.
That's the I
So
mean,
good
that's
luck
the
out
key.
there to everyone. And whatever you're doing, there is no right way. You know what way there is? It's the way for you. I just want to
Exactly.
get that message out. There is no right way. There is your way, and whatever your doctor tells you your way should be.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, thank you, Shay, so much for coming on today. Thank you for coming on the Downsized Dish. And I hope everyone out there will like and subscribe to the Downsized and like and subscribe to Downsizing Diva. If you'd like to come on and be interviewed with us about your GLP-1 journey, send me an email to Lorraine@thedownsized.org. I'd love to hear from you. This is your personal invitation. And that'll do it for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to join us for Downsides Live Wednesdays at 7 Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. And that's it. Anything else, Christopher?
That'll do it.
Thank
All
you.
Thank
right.
you for
Thank
joining us,
you.
Shay.
Thanks, Shay. Nice
Yeah.
talking
Thank
with you.
you.
Thanks.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.